we have Matthew Chance now on the line, still near that location. No, back in the city itself. Matthew Chance, first of all, remarkable reporting, remarkable images, and in line with what we've seen elsewhere in Ukraine, also examples of the Ukrainians pushing back the Russian attack. Any more details about this action itself, and any sense if it's more widespread around Kyiv where you are?
Well, John, of course, these are remarkable times in Ukraine, and in Kiev in particular, where we have seen a concerted effort by Russian forces to try and probe into the capital, and every one of those efforts so far that we've witnessed has been pushed back either by the Ukrainian military, which is what we saw in that part northwest of the city, or whether it's by civilians who have civilian defenders, or the territorial defences they call themselves, who have been given weapons within the past 72 hours only by the Ukrainian authorities, and they've set up their own barricades and ditches, and they're sort of guarding their own neighbourhoods. And so we are seeing this extraordinarily heroic defence of the Ukrainian capital, and it's very effective as well. We saw those images there northwest of the city. There have been other examples of quite significant, I would say, Russian defeats or Russian losses at the hands of this, very, very strong, at the moment, Ukrainian defence. And that's all well and good, but the point I was making in that report, I think it's worth making again, is that, flush with those victories, the Ukrainians are now at the talks with the Russians, demanding that there is a ceasefire and demanding that Russian forces pull back. And it's not clear yet what the response of the Russian forces and the Russian political leadership will be. The coming hours and the coming days are going to be crucial to decide what happens here, what the outcome of this brutal conflict will be, John.
Matthew Chance, the issue is, are these setbacks, is that what's bringing Vladimir Putin and the Russians to the table? Or, as you laid out there, on the scene of this destruction of Russian forces, are they more likely to cause Putin to act, with greater violence, or maybe irrationally? You've got experience covering him, Matthew. What are your thoughts?
Well, we don't know, as always with Vladimir Putin, what his next step is going to be. No one really seriously predicted. Well, US intelligence did. But, people who have been living in that country for a long time, a lot of the people that I work with, in our heart of hearts, didn't really believe he would go and take this step, but he did. And so, it comes back to the issue of how to predict what his next move will be. My hope is, and I think the hope of a lot of Ukrainians, is that this will give Vladimir Putin pause. Perhaps the military strategy he adopted has been it's obviously not been as successful as he wanted it to be, and maybe that will make him rethink this whole idea of taking Ukraine, toppling the leadership, or whatever his plan was. But you could equally see, and the record might support this, you could equally see how he would want to double down, triple down, and not back down in a situation like this. And again, I think that's the big danger for Ukraine right now.
Look, how do you predict a man who ordered this type of invasion of a country? How do you predict what he'll do next? There's just no way of knowing. Matthew Chance, we appreciate the work